You're watching KX News, putting North Dakota first.
This snowstorm may have felt a little bit different from our last few. The impacts may be different, but how snowstorms are structured is very similar.
Meteorologist Amber Wheeler is here to break it all down in this week's Weather Wise.
Well, Brooke and Nicholas, while not every snowstorm is the same, they do have a lot of similar parts. Storms are low pressure systems, so the first thing that we look for is the center of the low, and we denote that with an L. Then we look for the fronts, the warm and the cold front. They tell us where the warm and where the cold air will be, and they have their own signals, of course, their own symbols here. Usually your freezing rain and ice will be found just north of the warm front, and the snow will come in the colder side of the low. That's where we've been a lot lately. Rain is found south of the warm front. This is also where we're feeding in moisture from the south, and a parcel of air can be in North Dakota and have originated from the Gulf, moving through a system like this. And the most unstable area will be along the trailing cold front. That's where storms will develop, and sometimes they're going to be severe. All of this is a typical Colorado low. We call it that because that's where the region it comes from. In fact, we have a lot of names for different types of low pressure systems based on where they come from. These are just a few that impact the United States in the winter. But what's really important here when it comes to snowstorms is that they will all be different. They'll have different snow amounts. They could have dry snow that piles up easily or wet snow that's much more compact. They can all have different wind, and some can last for days while others can last for 24 hours. Now, Brooke and Nicholas, the KX Storm team can often identify patterns that we see that are conducive to those large snowstorms. And while I see snow in the forecast for next week, I don't see anything like the pattern we have right now to see anything like what I just showed you, the Colorado low, which is what we're experiencing right now. That's what the storm is called, a Colorado low.
Well, it's a bit of a relief to know that we're not seeing anything quite like it for next week.
At least for next week.
Okay, thanks, Amber.
Plenty more coming up on KX News at 9.